We're going to be doing the wheel bearing on this 2013 Ford C-Max Energy or hybrid. I think it would be the same. You're going to want to start with actually jacking up the car from its jacking point. And once you jack the car up, just make sure that you set a stand and you will remove the wheel. It is 5 20 millimeter bolts. Just zip them off with an impact. You're gonna want to remove the tie rod end. It is a 15 millimeter, and just back it out. To make it easier, you can thread it back on with a few threads and just give it a good whack with the hammer to break it free. After that, you're gonna want to undo your caliper brackets, and it is two, I believe, 17 millimeter bolts, 18 millimeter bolts, and you just back those out. And then you can securely remove the caliper assembly altogether. After that, you're going to want to pull off your rotor. They might be a little stuck, so a little bit of persuasion won't hurt. After that, you're going to want to remove your axle nut, which is a 32 millimeter, and just back that out, and you should be ready to proceed. So you're going to want to undo this bottom bolt holding the ball joint and this bolt, and they have slits in the back. Right here, you want to stick a pry bar or a punch to separate that, and that'll allow the knuckle to slide out. And don't forget to disconnect your ABS sensor. Once you split it back there, you should be able to get a pry bar in and just pop it out of the socket, and then split this open, and you'll be able to start hitting it out. Just make sure you've disconnected your sensor so you could hit it against here, and don't forget to take off your heat shield. The hammer is already making its way. If you want to make this easier, you could split it and hit it and spray some WD-40 in there, and it should come out really easily. Once your knuckles out, you could just pull out the torque. It is a T25, and then you just pull it out and sideways, spray it down with some parts cleaner, and it should be good to go. To get the hub out, they make hub pullers that'll pull on the face against the axle, but it didn't work for this one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna support the spindle, and you wanna get a socket that will fit the diameter of the hub, like right here. You wanna hit it along right there, along here, with the socket, like that, with the hammer, and just basically beat it until it's out. And this should come out after a couple good strikes with a 4-pound hammer. Should be fine to reuse. I kind of nicked it right there, but I'll kind of brush it down. I don't know who did that, but it's not me. It's actually already pretty smooth, so I think it'll be fine. There you go. Cut a slit, and it'll relieve the pressure. Get a chisel, and it'll split it open, and it'll just slide off. Now to continue prepping the knuckle, you need to remove this snap ring right here, and that'll allow us to push the bearing out. So grab a pair of snap ring pliers. Hopefully these will work. Snap rings are a little tricky. Place it out. I have one side out. Just walk it out. There you go. This one's still in good condition. Normally you want to replace these, but it'll be fine. And now we can press the bearing out towards us. And you want to grab your tool and set the spacer, the flat plate, the spacer ring, and then the adapter that sits on the outer face of the bearing, and your ram. And so what it'll do is, as you tighten this one, it'll push against this one and pulling out towards the face, which is where our bearing's gonna fall in here. Yeah, so we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. We're just gonna hit it until the bearing comes out, with a hammer and just support the hub. One more hit. One more good hit. There's the bearing. So this is the bearing. We took it out of the freezer right now, so it's nice and crispy. When you're installing it, put the magnetic side towards the wheel speed sensor. If not, you're gonna have issues there. So the wheel speed sensor is facing inward. So bearing facing up. Right through. Freezing the bearing just because and smoother. I am using an impact. You could do this by hand, but it's going to be a pain. If you don't have an impact, or if you want to deal with the pain, you could always go to a local shop. They'll probably charge you like 20 bucks to press it in, and you wouldn't have a problem. Pull the bearings deep enough when you see the groove for the snap ring, and the snap ring goes in without a problem. If you're still having troubles with it, you could try to press it in a bit more, but you could damage the bearing like that. I would say just take it slowly, check, hit it slowly, check. You could also check like through the wheel speed sensor. You're gonna see the lip of the bearing right there deep inside, and that's another way of knowing when it's completely in. I'm gonna get the snap ring in because I need both hands for that. They're a little bit tricky. They're low-key a pain. See how the snap ring sits back in its groove, no problem. You could give it a couple taps on the sides to make sure it's in. I'll probably in a second. Like that. Just all around. But it's in. You can see it right there. It's sitting in its groove. And now to get the hub in with the same tool, just reversed. So you're gonna, same way, you're gonna press the hub in, and the hub's gonna want to be flush with the other end of the bearing on this side. I'll show you guys in a bit how it should be. See how it's like sits flush level right here in this divot? That's how it wants to be, and you should be good to start putting everything back together. Probably do strut, control arm, or well, strut, axle, control arm, ball joint. Tie rod end, rotor, caliper bracket, and then tire. It's a fairly easy job. Takes maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on like how skilled you are, or if you need to do multiple trips to the parts store. But if you know your way around the car and you're down for it, it's not hard. it.